So there's a problem with my throat, so my voice might sound different. There's a very interesting stat that at IIM Ahmedabad for their MBA program, the acceptance rate is as low as 0.5%. Why? Because the 400 or 500 students that get the final admission are on a base of 2 lakh students who appear for CAT with the aspiration of getting to IIM Ahmedabad. Whereas at a Harvard, a top global B school, this acceptance rate is as high as 10%. My dear friends, my objective is to remind you that probably there are opportunities to do MBA abroad at better ranked B schools than Indian B schools, and therefore in this video I will be walking you through all the steps, everything you need to know if you don't know anything about how to pursue MBA abroad, because this is where you might start educating yourself कि अरे मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है कि MBA abroad के लिए करना क्या है. इस वीडियो में सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा. This video is also important for the ones who are predominantly thinking about MBA in India. Do not think कि अरे हम तो Indian MBA वाले, हमें क्या मतलब है. नहीं, देखना आपको भी है, because I want my Indian admission MBA students also to have full perspective कि हमें पता है कैसे होता है एडमिशन बाहर, मगर we still choose to do our MBA in India. Please make an informed choice. Hi, I'm Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from Udaipur. I have been the MBA Product Head at Career Launcher. I'm the founder of Creatum, and I help MBA students create fulfilling careers without depending on placements. So while there are both pros and cons of pursuing MBA abroad, it is important that you know what the process is. And if you're very clear that nahi, MBA abroad ही करना है, then you need to have a starting point from right now. Since most of my audience on YouTube are those who are planning to pursue MBA in India, it is important for me to remind them that what are the opportunities abroad. First of all, the first thing which you need to do is that you need to understand the global MBA, what happens abroad. It is not just MBA. There are two things outside. There is something known as MIM, Masters in Management. Now, फर्क क्या है इन दोनों में? फर्क predominantly इन दो तीन चीजों पे है. What it is? Work experience to start off with. For you to pursue an MBA program outside of India, the minimum working requirement for you is at least 3 years. Some B schools abroad have this as 4 years, some also have it as 5 years, but a minimum working criteria for MBA programs abroad is 3 years. So in India, for example, you do not have any such criteria. At an IIM Ahmedabad, you can get into an IIM Ahmedabad even if you're a fresher, but abroad that is not the case. Then the equivalent to your Indian MBA program जहां पे एक fresher भी entry ले सकता है, the equivalent to that, the global equivalent to that is MIM, because the MIM programs abroad are the ones which are of zero, which accept students who are freshers up till 2 years or even 3 years in some cases. So this is one important thing. That is why I say this, that the Indian MBA programs abroad, they are not considered as MBA. They are considered as MIM, because these programs in India, they do not have a strict qualification criteria of how many years of experience you have. So even if you've pursued MBA in India and you're planning to work abroad, while you can, and it's going to be extremely smooth, that's not a problem. You just need to know that it is equivalent to the MIM programs abroad. Moving on from there, it also somewhere differs on what are the kind of outcomes which you'll have from these programs, obviously, because in MBA you're walking in with certain years of work experience at some of the top B schools around the world. You need to know this. There are students or MBA aspirants or the ones who are pursuing MBA there with over 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years of experience, and they're coming back to the classroom to learn more. So an MBA classroom abroad and even in India is a very diverse environment. You'll get so many views and opinions. The point which I'm trying to make here is that because the MBA global program has a minimum working years of criteria, obviously the kind of roles which you will be able to bag from here are mid to top management roles, soon leading to CXO level roles as well. Whereas at the MIM program, since you're starting off probably as a fresher or with very fewer years of work experience, the kind of jobs which you will get are young to mid management roles. One question which would come to your mind is that कि sir, but बाहर के B schools में placement तो नहीं होती है ना? नहीं होती है. So while they have set up such cells which help you in your recruitment, but no organization comes to the institute wherein the institute is organizing a recruitment drive. This is not a institutionalized process in the B schools abroad. However, अगर बाहर के B school में placement नहीं होती तो sir, should we even pursue MBA abroad or not? For that I had made a separate video in which I have compared whether you should pursue MBA in India or abroad. You should watch that. Also, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Why? So that you can see more of these videos in your feed, because if you have the aspiration to pursuing MBA from somewhere good, I will keep on reminding you how to do it and what should be your strategy for that. Coming back to this, the third thing is that usually there are some places wherein which are famous for certain kind of things. So some of the top ranked MBA programs are from the US, from the Canada and from the UK, whereas the top rank MIM programs are usually from European countries like France, Germany and all of these things. Does not mean that the remaining countries do not offer. No, in fact, a few other very interesting places where students like to go is, for example, Australia, is Singapore, but predominantly these are the top ranked institutes, or sorry, these are the top ranked places from where you have top ranked institutes of this. Again, if you want a video on, sir, can you give us a rankings of these B schools? Sure. While you should follow Financial Times rankings and you should follow QS rankings, they are the most credible ones. If you want me to do something on that, I can make a video on it as well. Just let me know in the comments. Moving back to this, so now at least you have the clarity कि भाई बाहर दो programs हैं. अगर मेरे पास work experience कम है तो I am aiming for MIM. I hope this is your takeaway from this video. This is a very important takeaway for you. Next here is that why should you do an MBA abroad? There are predominantly 4 things. I will quickly show these 4 things to you. Why? Because I have already included these 4 reasons in another video of mine in which I have spoken about why should you or should you not pursue MBA abroad. So while I'll quickly walk you through this so that we can quickly move to the admission process, but if you want to delve deeper into it, that is the video which you need to watch. The first thing which you need to know is that, sure, if you're somebody who wants global exposure, say suppose you're saying that, yeah, I want an academic experience which is global. Sure, studying abroad, pursuing your MBA abroad is going to be a great opportunity for you. Second thing is that if you are very sure that, you know what, I don't want to work in India, I want to work somewhere else, then this is definitely the route for you to take. In fact, you would see all these Indian origin global CEOs which you have, the CEOs of Google and Microsoft. If you see, while they pursued their UG from India, they had to pursue something abroad for them to be able to access the kind of interesting jobs which they eventually did. So this is something which is important. Then obviously the brand value of some of these institutes is much higher than some of the Indian institutes as well. You can see that if you go to the QS rankings or the FT, Financial Times rankings, what you'll see is that some of these B schools are ranked much higher than the Indian MBA schools in those rankings. So on a global scale, your Indian B schools, while they are good, there are other schools which are probably easier accessible to you and they are higher ranked globally, authentic rankings in that. Also, obviously, if your long-term goals is to settle abroad, then this helps you because you go there as a student, you study, you find a job and eventually you settle there. This is the whole idea. Now let me share with you the admission process because that is important. You will be able to see 2 things, fall and spring. Now what you need to know is that usually MBA colleges abroad have just one intake in a year, which is the fall intake. This intake, it starts in the month of August. Basically your classes, your orientation, it starts in the month of August. This is the same as the Indian MBA programs wherein the classes they start sometime in last week of June. That's that. Also, you need to understand that what is the round system to it. Abhi I'll come to a spring kya hai, kuch alag process hai. That's that. Now, how do you get admission to these programs? Okay, usually a B school could follow either of these 2 ways. Either they would be following the round wise system for their admission, or this or is important, or they would be following a rolling basis testing process. So I'll explain to you both of them. In a round based, how it happens is that the admissions usually happen in 3 rounds. Now for your August intake, what happens is that the round 1, the applications to this one, it starts from previous year's August. So August to September mein you can fill in your application. Then your personal interviews happen in October of the last year, and then your results, whether you will be admitted to that school in the August next year or not, is you get it by November of the previous year. तो पिछले साल के नवंबर तक आपको पता है कि आप अगले साल अगस्त में वो MBA का प्रोग्राम ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं कि नहीं. Then once this round 1 is over, starts the round 2. Round 2, the applications, they start from October and go up till January. So while this one, they started from August to September, they start from October to January. Then their interviews similarly happen in February and their results are announced by March. That March में आपको हो जाता है इस बात का idea that yes, in this year's August will I be able to go to this school or not. And in the same way, round 3, you apply in a window from February to March, interviews happen in April and results come out in May. So by May you know whether you're going to the B school in the next 3 months or not. This is the round basis and you can apply to any round. It's not that कि अरे पहले में apply करा तो ज़्यादा फायदा है, नहीं, किसी में भी you can apply. If I were to explain you rolling one, that says suppose if certain B schools are not following round wise system also. If you want to know which B schools follow round system, which B schools follow, while I have made a video on it, what you can do is you should follow me on my LinkedIn and on my Instagram. Why? Because there I have shared a lot of these things in detail, that which B schools follow which kind of a thing. It is important. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because a lot of these things I will keep on bringing out to you so that there is value in your MBA pursuits. It is important. In a rolling basis, what happens is that there is a single window of application for this August intake from September to June. पिछले साल के सितंबर से लेके जून तक. Which means, now how it happens, that your personal interview, which is usually online, it happens within 2 to 4 weeks of your application. तो जब आपने करा उस कॉलेज के लिए apply, if they like your application, within 2 to 4 weeks you will be done with your interviews, and interview के बाद within 2 to 3 weeks again you would have your final offer. Now one thing which happens in this is that the faster or as soon as that their batch gets filled, the admission process closes. Obviously it is a first come first serve. So now you at least have the clarity कि क्या होता है. Now the same thing happens in spring season. फर्क बस ये है that the spring classes, they start in the month of January. Now not all of the B schools offer both this thing. Usually most B schools offer fall only. However, there are certain B schools, for example INSEAD, for example HEC, for example Columbia B School. These are some of the institutes and a few more obviously who also offer a spring this thing. Now फर्क क्या है fall और spring में? I can make a video on that कि which batch should you aim for, because फर्क है. For example in INSEAD, if you are joining for the spring batch which starts in J, then you have to also do a mandatory internship as well, whereas that is not the thing when you do it for the fall batch. So some of these things I might not be able to explain it here. If you want it, let me know in the comments that how did you like this video, and let me know what you want me to make, because there is a lot of things which you need to learn. इसमें भी same चीज है, इसमें बस you will see that the dates are not the same. So for example, the applications, they start from previous year's March, then these interviews happen in the month of April, and your final outcome, it comes in May, and by May you know that whether you will be entering the January of that school or not. The same way in the second round, you will have to apply up till April, then the interviews will happen in May, and your final outcomes will come sometime in July. Same thing for round 3 and round 4. I'll just open this in front of you so that you have exact idea of what happens. You might want to take a screenshot of this if you have to. Moving on from there, one final thing, again the same thing happens here, is that there is a single window from March to November if you were to apply on a rolling basis. Now why I want to move ahead from here is that because there are more important things which are coming your way, which is what are the required assessments which you need to take. Again, it is important for you to know what all you have to do. Now the required assessments which you have to take is that you usually have to take 2 separate assessments. One is a management assessment, which could be any of these exams. Either you will be appearing for GMAT or for GRE or even for CAT. But won't we talking about pursuing MBA abroad? Yes, there are certain B schools which for their and only for their MIM programs, they accept the scores of CAT as well, and these are top rank B schools. If you check their rankings on FT, you will see that these are top rank, even better ranked than IIM Ahmedabad's and Bangalore's of the world. That is important. So keep this in your head. I've made a separate video on CAT accepting B schools. Watch that video, interesting one. It will help you a lot. Coming back to here, now you need to individually go and check the websites of the schools, that whether they accept GMAT GMAT or they accept GRE or both. In either of the case, it is much more wiser to take GMAT because it is only because it is accepted by all B schools abroad. So it's the simplest thing. However, if you want to know that sir but मेरी math weak है या ये weak है या ये फिर ये weak है, तो उस हिसाब से क्या लिया जाए, should we take a GRE or GMAT? If you want me to make a separate video on whether to take GMAT or GRE for MBA abroad, let me know in the comments along with how did you find this one so that I can reply back and I can make a video for you as well. Now, if you have studied in English education, then you need not take a language proficiency this thing. However, some B schools still say that no, we still want you to take either of these two assessments. One is IELTS, the other one is the TOEFL. Now, usually TOEFL is for B schools in US, South Korea and Japan. These are not the only countries. There are many more countries, but I'm saying predominantly जहाँ के अच्छे ranked schools हैं. IELTS is predominantly for the UK, for the Canada, Australia, New Zealand and Europe. This is something which you have to know. Again, a lot of students have this confusion. Sir, TOEFL किस लिए होता है? Sir, IELTS किस लिए होता है? अब at least एक और आहा हो गया आपको that you know it. Broadly ये होता है और ये बहुत और ये सारे B schools में नहीं होता है. But if your B school is still saying that no, we need this score, then you have it in front of you. Moving on from there. Now we come to the point that what are the requirements in application? Extremely important for you to know. There are predominantly 5 things and these form the basis of your application. Please screenshot this. ये मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव इस वीडियो में है आपको कंसाइज में संक्षिप्त में अच्छे से समझाना और बेस्ट वे ये है. प्रेडोमिनेटली देखो 5 थिंग्स हैं जो कि आपको जहन में यू हैव टू कीप. वन इज योर रेज्यूमे और CV. द अदर इज योर SOP एंड essays और essays. अगेन ये क्या होता है? इफ यू वांट मी टू मेक अ वीडियो आंसर, ये सुना तो है मैंने कि SOP चाहिए होती है वहां के लिए, बट क्या होता है? हाउ डू वी मेक इट? Let me know in the comments. Only when you let me know I'll be able to make it. Also, do not forget to join my free Telegram group because there you can ask me queries. If you want me to talk, if you want to talk to me one-on-one video call, book a call on my Topmate link. That is where we can talk and solve and understand क्या क्या करना है. The third thing is LORs, letters of recommendations. Probably some B schools would want one, some would want more than one. You need to check it for the specific schools. Obviously, the scores of either GMAT or GRE or CAT or the other exams like IELTS and the other one. And transcripts. Transcripts क्या होती हैं? Usually, what are your previous academic history? क्या क्या है? All of your mark sheets and all, so that they can assess your academic strengths and all of these things. These 5 things, remember them. These are predominantly your application to any institute you are actually applying to. So जहां मैंने यहाँ पे किया था explain that you have to apply here and all of these things. Say suppose if I am here, these things ना ये वाले जो होते that you have to do this kind of an application. That application needs to comprise of these 5 things. That is what you need to know. Now quickly one last thing because this is important. लोग छोड़ देते हैं यहाँ तक but यहाँ पे आके बहुत important है. Once you get admission or you get your final offer, what all you have to do? The first thing which you need to do is pay your deposit. Could be around $2,000, could be, or it could also be around 2 lakh rupees. You need to specifically check this for your particular institute. Extremely important. Then you need to immediately file for your student visa. Your B school helps you with what are the steps, but you know how to file it, so that is extremely important. Quickly plan for your accommodation. If you're planning for on-campus accommodation, you have to write to your B school. You have to apply through their college accounts, and each B school has their particular process that how should you apply. So you need to check with them. But broadly मैंने सामने यहाँ पे दिया है ताकि आपको मालूम रहे अभी ये भी होगा. That is my objective. See, I don't want my students to be walking into the blind कि अरे सर ये भी करना है. अब तुम्हें पता है. So that now when you're talking to that institute, once you have your final admission offer, then this is what you have to do. Off campus भी you can arrange it for your own self. Then there are certain pre-departure programs which the B school is offering to you. They mostly happen online and you need to attend them. And finally, once you reach there, you need to set up a local bank account. You should have SIM cards and all of your transport cards so that your journey there is a seamless one and you enjoy living there. Because again, why do you want these bank accounts and all? If you want to do a job somewhere, if you want to earn while you learn and all of these things, you should be able to have that. You should be able to save somewhere, all of these things. My dear friends, this was a complete walkthrough on how to do MBA abroad. Very important video, even for the ones who are planning to pursue MBA in India. It is extremely important to watch such kind of videos because you need to know full perspective. Do not be blinded कि अरे हमारे लिए तो नहीं है, ये आपके लिए भी है, बहुत important है. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.